Hi, it's Natasha with SoulByNat.com here, and today I am with Mr. Kevin Jefferson, the People's Lender. Woo woo! So we are going to ask a lender today. A lot of people, ask about being a first-time home buyer. And then the second part of that is going to be down payment assistance.
Okay.
So people say, well, I'm a first-time home buyer. Don't I get money? And just to clarify, a first-time home buyer is considered
someone who hasn't had ownership in a home in the last 3 years. Not purchased, but had ownership.
Oh.
Example, if someone passed and they left the house to you and your name goes on that deed, you now have ownership of a property.
Okay.
Even though you didn't buy it or pay for it, you now have ownership in the property.
So that would cancel out your
first time home buyer.
Okay.
And what the first time home buyers program is essentially down payment assistance program.
Right. So there's no separate category that says, oh, you're a first time home buyer, here's $10,000. We just give it to you. No, it applies to down payment
assistance program.
And then how do those programs work? Or is it like, okay, free money here, we'll just give it to you and everybody qualifies for it?
No. So I always tell people that down payment assistance program, there's a cost to it. The cost to the down payment assistance program is either you're going to pay a higher interest rate,
okay,
or you're going to have to stay in the house for a certain period of time. So in terms of certain periods of time, I've seen anywhere as short as 3 years and anywhere as long as 10 years. And the questions I always get, well, how will they know? Well, I was in a class taking training for the down payment assistance program, one of the down payment assistance program, and the instructor gave us an example of where someone had gotten down payment assistance, moved out, and purchased another house.
Okay.
Well, they wouldn't normally know that, but sometimes from time to time, they send letters if you have to recertify or just to update some information, and it got forwarded. It didn't get forwarded to your new primary residence. It got sent back to them as undeliverable.
Oh,
so that drew a red flag. So what happened was they contacted the person and they called the down payment that they gave them due because it was less than the time period they were supposed to be in the house.
And called it due, like
meaning they have to pay it back. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I would just strongly suggest you really understand the terms of the down payment assistance that you're getting. And then also know that every lender does not offer or work with down payment assistance programs, right?
Right, yeah. Certain lenders don't work with down payment assistance programs because their branches don't get compensated the same. So it's kind of depends on what you want to do. I get down payment assistance clients from other lenders because they don't do them or they don't want to do them.
Okay. Don't want on the other side, as when say I'm working with a buyer, or maybe I'm even a listing agent and I get an offer and I get two offers. One doesn't need down payment assistance. The other one does need down payment assistance. Yeah, we're going to look at the other terms, but really the person that has the funds in the bank kind of, looks better because the down payment assistance isn't a guarantee. Right?
It's no guarantee. And then the person who has their own funds typically can close faster because there's not an extended closing because of the down payment assistance program having to do their underwriting as well.
Okay.
So a lot of times when my clients are out shopping and they have down payment assistance programs, they get beat out a lot. Because if someone can close in 30 days and I have to wait 45, even though my offer may be higher, they'll take the sure shot because the person has the money in the bank.
Okay.
Because the down payment assistance program, while we underwrite it in-house and you're approved through us, they could shoot it down for something different. And it's nothing we can do because it's their guidelines.
Yeah.
It's their guidelines.
Okay.
And it's at the discretion of their underwriter. And there's no, we can fight it in terms of this is what FHA says, but their underwriter can say, from our standpoint as an organization, this is what we prefer.
Okay.
And it's their money.
Yeah. So please, just save up. Just save up your money. They can use like 401k as an option, right?
They can use 401k. They can use gift from a family member. A lot of times people have the money in terms of if it's a certain amount,
Okay.
they just have to change their mindset on how they spend their paychecks.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I'm gonna give you a real example that happened. I closed on a client beginning of this month.
Okay.
They had a certain amount of money set to the side, her and her husband,
Okay.
and they were using down payment assistance, which only covered the down payment. The market they were in, the seller couldn't contribute much closing costs as they needed.
Okay.
So myself and the realtor got on the phone with them, and we just kind of brainstormed because they're great. I mean, high 700 credit scores, great borrower. Just we live off what we make. So what we did was we broke down to her how her and her husband could save their paychecks, or as much of their paychecks as they can, to alleviate some of that burden of where I'm gonna come up with the money.
Okay.
And by doing that, they didn't realize, if we just decide to eat at home and I pack lunches for both of us, we can save, $200 a week, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is when you got 4 weeks to save it up.
Okay.
So that's $800 additional dollars.
Okay.
The other thing that we helped her figure out was she had worked somewhere and had a 403B that she left and forgot about.
Teamwork makes the
Dream work. So
okay.
that gave her the bulk of her down payment,
Awesome.
along with the money they already had saved, along with the money that they learned to save by just cutting back on certain things. And she was able to get their house, and they closed on it on time. And it was just a matter of shifting their thinking of, I don't have this money, how can I come up with it? But then when I look at it, you do, let's just try this, this, and this. And that's something that I do. I try to make sure, because everybody doesn't have $8,000 sitting around.
Okay.
Like Natasha.
I'm trying to get like Kevin.
But it's just a team effort. And the realtor on the phone, sometimes we have three-way calls just to help the buyers through, because like I said, it's an emotional process.
Right.
And to me, I like the three-way calls because the realtor's hearing it firsthand from myself and them, and they're hearing it from myself and the realtor. So we're all on the same page, and we don't have to figure out, what did Natasha say?
Right. So kudos to you on that, really, because everything's not always black and white.
Right.
We got to figure a way, how can we make this work? And there are some lenders that they want it black and white. They don't want to have to deal with figuring this out. And to the same effect, if someone works from, self-employed, or they work a seasonal job, or you have to take all this stuff into consideration and then see how we can work it. So it's definitely really important to have a lender that can think outside of the box and figure out, okay, how can we get this done?
How can we get it done and when? I always tell people, I don't deny them, it's just a delay. It just takes a little while. I'll do the work up front and give the game plan, but they have to help execute it. And I'm always available if they don't remember, or they say, hey, what if I try this and that to help? Will it help? And I'm always there to answer those questions.
That's awesome. That's awesome. One more question about down payment programs. Does that mean that they don't need any money at all?
That is not true. So they don't always come with no money at all. Some of the down payment assistance programs have a requirement of $1,000 that you have to put in, whether it's earnest money deposit or escrow, or the appraisal fees. With the market that we're in, the price point that we're in, the $5,000, the $7,500, or the $15,000, or whatever you get from the program, typically doesn't cover all of the down payment and or the closing costs. So while that helps alleviate a lot of the costs for you, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have to bring something to closing. You're gonna have to bring some form of funds, whether it's just $500 additional dollars or it's $5,000, you're gonna have some money in.
Okay.
There's not a lot of programs where you don't bring any money at all.
Okay.
But I do say that even though you're going to get the down payment assistance, you're looking to get it, another game plan that we have is let's continue to save as much money as possible, because if the down payment assistance program denies you, you still have to figure out if you're going to buy the house. And it's not just your transaction that's affected, it's the seller's transaction, whose seller's transaction, on and on and on. So if you continue to save and you save the $8,000 and you get approved for the down payment assistance, well, guess what? You just got $8,000 that you were able to save. If you get denied and you have the $8,000, you can go ahead and close on the house.
Great.
And you'll probably get a better interest rate because you don't have to take the interest rate that the down payment assistance program gives to you.
Okay, which is normally higher than
yeah.
what you pay. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I don't want you to feel like we're saying don't use down payment. If you can use it, great, but still have that money set aside just in case something happens. So it has happened where I worked with somebody that had down payment assistance, and we submitted the offer. I put it through with the down payment assistance, but I let them know if for some reason it didn't work, they still had the money, saved up. So they were reassured that this deal was going to go through.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely want to have a backup game plan, because at any given time, the down payment assistance could shut down.
Yes, because that has happened.
Yep, they could shut down.
They run out of money.
Or they could change the guideline.
Okay, awesome, Kevin. Thank you so much. Like this, you shared more than I could have even asked for. This was great. I know you guys found it beneficial. And make sure you check out Kevin. Kevin, where can they find you? You
can find me on Facebook under Kevin Jefferson Mortgages. You can find me on Instagram at The People's Lender. You can also find me on YouTube under Kevin Jefferson, The People's Lender, and I can be found on LinkedIn under Kevin Jefferson Mortgages.
Awesome. Guys, please go and show Kevin some love. He is so knowledgeable, as you can see. Thank you for watching. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. You have to give this video a thumbs up. We shared some great information today. Awesome. So I know it helped you on your journey. Guys, thanks for watching. Again, please subscribe and have a positive, peaceful, and productive day.
Thank you.
Bye.